Our next speaker found himself and his girlfriend spending way too much time in airports lately. They recently signed up for a service the Transportation Security Administration offers that can dramatically reduce a major stressor in airline travel, security lines. Tonight he'll share the details on this with you. His speech titled, Travel Like It's 1999. Please help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Nick Smith.
Sorry, I'm too nervous about my flight. You all need TSA PreCheck. Unless you're not traveling at all domestically, you need TSA PreCheck. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and warmly welcome guests. One can only appreciate TSA PreCheck once they have experienced not having TSA PreCheck. Welcome to not having TSA PreCheck. It begins by standing in line. We're pretty lucky here in Fort Lauderdale. Lines usually aren't that long, but if you go to Newark, Chicago, LAX, you're in line. Daisy's nodding. Plan an hour or more to stand in line for security. Finally, you get to the end of the security line. You walk up to the TSA agent, gave him your driver's license, and they scan this, and they let you through security, and you go stand in another line. Usually it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it's like when you're at the grocery store. You're trying to figure out which line is going to go faster to get me to the actual security stuff, and some friendly voice will usually holler at you, "This line!" You get in line, and then there's usually about 3 or 4 people, maybe more in front of you, and finally you get up to the table. And you pretend this is a gray bin, by the way, not transparent, but you grab a bin, and you have to start throwing all your stuff in on the table. This. Meanwhile, you get 5 to 10 people behind you looking at you, angry because they want to just get through this process as well. Oh, and my favorite part, besides you don't get to lean on anything. This part's familiar, huh, Easy? By the way, it'd be a separate bench. Can I talk about how much I love taking my shoes off in a public place and walking around? And of course, if you have any liquids, if you have a coat on, a belt, that all has to come off and needs to go in the bins. Then you walk up to another line. There's another machine, a millimeter wave scanner technology. Another line, 3 or 4 people. Finally, it's your turn. You walk in. Gotta hold your hands up here, and they take basically a naked image of you. Now, supposedly that's been anonymized, and then I imagine some computers analyzing it. Walk past that. You wait a few seconds until they give you an all clear, or they want to pat you down or check pockets or whatnot. And you wait for your stuff to roll out of the conveyor belt again, and then you start the process in reverse. Yeah, this is really annoying. It's so true though, right? Airport security, so much fun. And this is what really happens too, right? There's nowhere to sit down. You gotta grab your stuff and walk 20, 30 feet that way to find some place to sit down afterwards. That's normal airport security. TSA PreCheck is a little bit different. First of all, laptop can stay in the bag, so there's one less thing to worry about. Coat can stay on if you have a coat. Liquids can stay in your bag. Oh my gosh, belt can stay on unless it'll set off a metal detector, so that's still probably coming off. Shoes can stay on. Oh, that's the big one. I hate taking my shoes off. Put your stuff on the conveyor belt. It goes through. You walk through a metal detector, not the nudie machine, but a metal detector. Grab your stuff, and you're on your way. It's such a time saver because not only are you going through this simpler process, the lines at TSA PreCheck are usually a lot shorter. 95% of people using TSA PreCheck in August did the entire process in less than 5 minutes. And I know that the few times that Jeannie and I have done it, we've made it through security and walked past a lot of people in line and just made it through security. And you almost feel a little bad doing it, actually, but you get through TSA and it's great. TSA is PreCheck is $85 for 5 years. How do you sign up for TSA PreCheck? Like everything else in the modern world, you Google TSA PreCheck. You end up on their website, click the red Apply Now button, they'll provide some details, and then you set an appointment. And the appointment that Jeannie and I had was at a testing center at Oakland and 95. They do COVID testing and drug testing there. It's just some place where they verify who you are, they get copies of your driver's license and passport, ask you some questions, and then you pay. By the time they did all this and we'd chat about the benefits of the program, I think about 15 minutes had gone by for both of us. And then we were out the door, and the next day, it doesn't always happen this quickly, but the next day, I received in my inbox a link. I clicked on it and it had my known traveler number. It's TN123AG123, something like that. You take this number and you add it to any of your travel, where you sign up for travel. Either get it to your travel agent, since we're talking about being $19.99 still, or even you're on JetBlue's website or whatever, you typed it in, and that connects your known traveler number to your reservation, and when you have your boarding pass, it says TSA PreCheck on it, and that's how you get all these lovely benefits. If you have, I think, an American Express Platinum or a Chase Sapphire, they'll actually give you a full statement credit every 5 years for doing this, so it can basically be free of charge. And as long as you're an American citizen or a permanent resident, you can qualify for TSA PreCheck. So I'd recommend that you look into this because it's a great program. If you're going to travel one time in the next 5 years, it's almost entirely worth it. And for me, I pay 3 times as much for it. TSA PreCheck, everyone. Madam Toastmaster.